Hello everyone, this is Soviet Russian Bear. It's time to record episode number 8 of our Omegle conversations. Yes. Okay, enough talk. Let's just do it, alright? 3, 2, 1. Hello.
Are you from Ryazan? Ryazan.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm from Tambov.
Are you in Ryazan currently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are you from?
Africa.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, Russia.
Да. And where are you from?
Are you Russian?
Yes, I am.
Do you have a blog like you are streaming right now?
No, I'm not streaming. I'm recording this for my YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, okay. So yeah, it's no. Okay. So, what do you think about this situation?
You mean the war?
Exactly.
Okay.
Not special operation, but war.
You can call it whatever you like, or special operation, war. I don't really care. It doesn't change the essence. Like the two countries are fighting each other. But please answer me. Where are you from?
I'm from Azerbaijan.
Oh, Azerbaijan. Okay. Okay. So, like the conflict, let's call it conflict, is between Russia and Ukraine, obviously. So, if you ask me who do I support, well, the answer is obvious. I support Russia, my motherland.
All right.
Yes.
But it's not about supporting, it's about understanding the nature of this conflict. Supporting is easy. You can support Russia, you can support Ukraine. It doesn't really reflect the nature. So the nature, the reason, the incentive, and the upcoming casualties, those are the most important. I mean, you probably know something about my country, and you know that we had a war 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you know that
We used to be 30 years ago. We used to be like a part of one big country.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is history now. But you know, we had this conflict. We had first war. We had second war. And for me, a war was something really very simple. Like you go, you scream, you fight, and at the end of the day, you somehow enter to the group of winners or losers. But after seeing it with my own eyes, after losing two friends, so this is something different for me right now. So that's why I'm interested in your understanding of the nature of the conflict, if you may.
Okay. So, the nature of the conflict is simple. Like, the origins of the conflict is... you see, the conflict did not exactly begin on February 24th, 2022. It began in 2014, after the coup d'etat happened in Ukraine, where raging ultranationalists came to power. And those ultranationalists despise everything Russian. So, when the southeast of Ukraine, the regions of Donbass, Donetsk, and Lugansk oblasts, they decided that we disagree with the outcome of the coup. We do not agree with the new government's anti-Russian policy. So the post-coup, post-Maidan government responded with violence against those regions, and they started to form neo-Nazi battalions like Azov, Aidar, Donbass, and the other Tornado battalion, and they start sending them to suppress the dissent of Donbass. So Donbass responded by forming their own militia, and so the war of 2014 started. But at the beginning of 2015, after Ukraine obviously couldn't defeat the militia of Donbass, which was, I admit, indirectly supported by Russia, it is true, yes. So Ukraine, the Kiev government, and the governments of the rebellious republics, unrecognized back then, they signed a treaty, a Minsk II Accords. So the problem is that Kiev did not observe these accords. Germany and France, who guaranteed these accords, they did not do anything to pressure Kiev into observing the Minsk II Accords. So after 7 years of this back and forth, and then Zelensky said, "No, I will never truly observe the Minsk II Accords." So, and later he said that, "Oh, I'm about to make a nuclear weapon." So Russia had to intervene. And have you heard about biological labs on the territory of Ukraine? The US funded biolabs that were developing the biological weapons. Biological weapons, as far as I know, are banned. So Russia needed to step in like a really hard kind of way. It is unfortunate that this happened, but in my opinion, the Kiev government and their Western handlers, they didn't leave Russia any choice.
So I listened to you, and so I can give you my perspective on this.
Go ahead.
Conflict. So, as you said, so the thing is, you mentioned biological weapons,
yes.
But unfortunately, I have never seen any documented evidence related to it. But I have seen a documented evidence how Russian army bombarded hospitals, the houses, the civilian houses. I have seen on the videos and on the pictures, which are the documented evidence, how Russian army used vacuum bombs or something like that. So the more up-to-date weapons and rockets. So rhetorical question is, what is more dangerous, hypothetical biological labs or vacuum weapons and vacuum bombs? I don't know, rockets and helicopters which are bombing, or tanks which are bombing or attacking the civilian houses. Which is more dangerous? And I see that even US did something like that. It is possible, of course. I have never seen Ukrainians to use it. This is the first one. And then secondly, it has not been proved. And the thing is, you mentioned about the Minsk agreement.
Yeah.
I agree with that. To be honest, I don't see Ukraine as a saint country. I don't see it, of course. But I don't see Russia in that way either. Russia is more aggressive right now against Ukraine compared to Ukrainian mistakes during the last years. In Azerbaijan, many people really are sad because of this war and killing civilians and so on and so on. And some people don't want to understand the reasons. They plug their ears, they close their eyes to the reasons, to the mistakes. But I'm a scientist, so I have to acknowledge those mistakes. But again, it doesn't justify the current aggression, which is not really something that a powerful and developed nation should do, in my opinion. If you think about yourself as a developed country, if you think about yourself as a kind of advanced nation, you have to find more peaceful solutions for it. So again, I'm not very well informed about any Ukrainians' actions against Russians in more details, and I'm not very well informed about the Russian motivation in this. But I know one thing, that we live in 2022. We passed Second World War. We passed the dissolution of Soviet Union. We even survived coronavirus and hypothetical biological labs and assumed nuclear weapons. This cannot be reason to start a war and killing civilians. Again, the Russia claims that I'm saying verbatim that I'm demilitarizing Ukraine. I'm bringing peace to Ukraine. By killing people, really, it doesn't make any sense. By killing people, you cannot bring peace. You curb this hatred. If Ukraine had some kind of hatred, and it's going to multiply. So this is a very, very dangerous game, and in my opinion, strategically, Russia lost. Strategically speaking, but of course, in real life, in daily life, like Russia is powerful, it has resources for now. But what will happen in the near future? I'm an economist. I'm a PhD student. I live in Hungary. I'm being extensively published in journals. I analyze post-Soviet economies, and I very briefly overviewed the sanctions. And oh my God, it is something that happens for the first time since the Second World War. This is unbelievable. So
are you done?
Yeah, I finished almost. So my basic understanding here is like 30% is Ukraine guilty, but 70% I don't see Russia as a side who brings a solution to the problem.
Okay, are you finished finally?
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of civilians' casualties as civilian killings, you have to understand this, that we today live in the age of post-truth. It is really hard to tell the truth from lies. And as far as I know, as far as I research YouTube channels, Telegram channels, blogs, my TV channels, I can tell you that, of course, war is war, and civilian casualties are inevitable. However, I've seen a lot of instances of Ukrainian army and nationalist neo-Nazi battalions like Azov using civilians as human shields, such as deploying tanks, artillery and military equipment in residential areas, organizing ammunition storages, ammunition warehouses in shopping malls like the Retroville shopping mall in Kiev. Also, you mentioned the hospital. I believe you are talking about the hospital in Mariupol. This has also been debunked as a false flag provocation to blame Russia. The hospital was long time evacuated before it happened, and the neo-Nazi battalion, neo-Nazi troops were deployed in that hospital, yes. So, I don't know, maybe I am wrong, but we still live in the age of post-truth, as I said, that it's really hard to tell the truth from lies. You see what I mean? And regarding the hatred and Russia, you said that Russia is demilitarizing, and you see, demilitarizing means that stripping Ukraine of its military, and denazification means ridding Ukraine of ultranationalists and neo-Nazi people. So what my belief is that after Ukrainian army is defeated, that their peace will finally be established, because untrained people cannot fight with a professional army.
So so your position is 99% overlapping with the mainstream Russian media, and political establishment. So probably, I don't know, of course, you don't know me, I don't know you, but from your ideas, I can say that you are a strong believer to the Russia's position right now. But this is not the way of understanding the true nature of the conflict, as I already mentioned. You have to be critical, and you have to sometimes be cruel against your own country, community, society. You mentioned about being like falsifying the casualties, but if Ukraine falsifying it, why 300,000 migrants entered Hungary right now? Why the same number of people entered to the other countries? So they are escaping from the casualties. And about hospitals and so on. So yeah, well, maybe one case can be like you said. It's possible that it was evacuated and people, some guys, military guys, entered that. But again, I have seen some videos where clearly shows that the sick people are inside the hospital. The bombing sound is coming from somewhere nearby. The electricity was stopped, the water was stopped, the gas was stopped. Of course, the infrastructure is damaged. Today, my colleagues from Sumy, they posted on LinkedIn that some kind of explosions have been heard nearby the infrastructure of Sumy, so they don't have gas anymore, they don't have heating, and so on. Again, it doesn't make any sense. It is not just demilitarization or denazification. Attacking infrastructure, attacking civilian people doesn't matter. So you mentioned about Azov.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a separate case. But again, Azov, is it a result of Russia's anti-Ukraine campaigns, or is it a reason for Russia's today's steps and actions? I don't know. So it must be clarified. I don't know about Azov. I don't know about similar stuff. But to be honest, this is my honest, subjective position. I don't see them as a reason to be attacked, like as a reason to attack one country, because Armenia has similar battalions. They had it in 90s. They had Arabo. Arabo was very dangerous battalion. Azerbaijan never claimed that I'm demilitarizing Armenia. I would like to erase Arabo or something like that. They simply occupied, they took territories, and we mainly got it back 2 years ago. And today, some similar battalions are still existent, and the tension will be escalated. Maybe another war will happen. I don't know. It will be very devastating for the region, to be honest. Again, I lost 2 friends. So I'm saying all of this as a person who experienced something real. I don't know if you lost some Russian friends in this Ukrainian war, but if you lose 4 or 5 friends, you may see yourself in a different mood, let's say, at least. But I'm really very sad for those Russians who die right now, because I grew up with Russians in Baku. And I respect Russians. I love the Russian language, even if I don't speak it very well. I read a lot in Russian. But I also love Ukrainians as well. I mean, it doesn't make we shouldn't make any discrimination here. Again, if you say that the peace will be implemented, of course it will be. If you occupy that territory, you implement whatever you wish. So you can see it at a peace, but I can assure you many countries will see it as an occupation. I don't know.
Okay. So, I think one of the key reasons also is that Russia sees Ukraine's potential possible membership in NATO as a threat to its security, and I completely agree with it. NATO is, in my opinion, not just in my opinion, is a hostile bloc, a hostile alliance that is already too close to comfort in the Baltics. But if they take Ukraine, Ukraine and Russia share like a very long border. And if, let's say, NATO deploys missiles near the city of Kharkov, then the time for those missiles to reach Moscow will be reduced to only 4 minutes. And Russia wouldn't be able to even respond if the NATO missiles get so close. And Poroshenko and Zelensky, and Poroshenko was the guy before Zelensky, they stated multiple times that their purpose is to join NATO and possibly the EU. So, and we can't trust NATO. You know why? Because we already, after the Soviet Union collapsed, we already tried to reach some sort of gentleman's agreement with NATO of NATO's non-expansion to the east, but NATO broke that agreement. So I don't know, how can we trust it anymore? It just...
So first of all, there is no such a thing like a gentleman's agreement. This is a lie. This is bullshit. But I agree with that NATO stuff. Ukraine lost its neutrality.
Absolutely.
Ukraine lost it. That was a geopolitical mistake. Why? Because if you are in between many global powers,
oh yes,
you cannot really stick the bear's eye and expect that everything will be okay. That was a mistake. Yeah, NATO and EU as an organization, like as a market, first of all, doesn't impose much danger in my view. Maybe some people see it as a danger, but if we separate NATO and EU, I would say that the EU membership is not a problem, but NATO membership was a kind of a mistake. And Georgian case also showed it, Ukrainian case shows it. That's why, I agree with my country's foreign policy. So it's so balanced. So because we are the only country who shares the borders with Russia and Iran at the same time. There is no such country in the world who shares the borders with two global powers like Iran and Russia. Iran is not a big power, but still it is a regional power. So
yes,
well, I agree on that. So Ukraine, if Ukraine could preserve its neutrality,
yes,
today would be better. But again, we have to be still critical in this case. That membership dream of Ukraine was not just because out of thin air. It was because Ukraine was observing that Russia is trying to grab government from Ukraine. So putting his own members, ruling it. It happens everywhere. It's not just Ukraine. There is no such an independent country. Everybody is dependent on someone else. How do you rule a country? You put your own people, your agents, your own persons into the government. So they speak up for you. But it couldn't happen in a safe and classical way in the case of Ukraine, but it happens in everywhere. I can give you an example from Iraq. So 30% of Iraqi parliament belongs to USA. I mean, what was the congressman? The congressman. 30% of congressmen is man of USA. 30% of Iran. 30%, I don't know, hypothetically Turkey, and just 10% they belong to the country itself, maybe if they are lucky. So yeah, well, there were mistakes, I agree. So, but still, what we see today, it's a very bloody. I don't know.
Yes, and you see, this is the thing with geopolitics, that if you are a small country and you are neighboring like a big power, a global power or regional power, you have to find yourself a big power to look after you. And if you try to play your own game, and if a big power, neighboring power, sees your game as a threat to them, then prepared to be, I don't know, prepared to suffer consequences. And I agree with you that Ukraine should have stayed neutral. Does not necessarily be like very pro-Russian or join the alliance with Russia. Although, in my opinion, ideally, I would like to see Ukraine in as a part of the union state of Russia and Belarus, ideally. But it would have suited me if Ukraine just really stayed neutral. As for governments and installing puppet government, I don't really know who of the previous Ukraine's presidents was really like a Russian puppet. Like Leonid Kravchuk certainly wasn't. Leonid Kuchma, who was after Kravchuk, he actually started the anti-Russian like narrative of Ukrainians being like sort of victims of Russians, and he wrote a book called "Ukraine is Not Russia." It was Leonid Kuchma, and he was the first guy who started this narrative of Ukraine being some sort of victim of Russia. And don't get me started on Viktor Yushchenko, who was very pro-West and anti-Russia. And after that, Viktor Yanukovych, who many people see Viktor Yanukovych as very pro-Russian, as almost a Putin's puppet, which in my opinion is a mistake. Yanukovych tried to be like some, I don't know, Yanukovych tried to conduct a balanced policies, like, or rather, should I say, sitting on two chairs, the multi-vector policies, and the Euromaidan started with his refusal to sign the EU Association Treaty because he read it, and the EU Association Treaty was not exactly beneficial for Ukraine and its people, so he refused to sign it. And the West didn't like that. So he was actually pro-Russia, but he's also he tried to maintain a balanced policy, but the Western powers said, no, you do as we tell you, or you get... No, you know what happened to Yanukovych.
The thing here is, like, my father always says that the life is a struggle. Life is a tussle. So you always gonna have some kind of struggle, some kind of conflict. But still, I don't understand one thing. Why do you need a union? So you have a union with Belarus and
Yes.
Belarus. And so why to expand it? So why to rebuild the Soviet Union too? I mean, everybody has its own country now, and whoever joins that new union, I can assure you that everybody will try to escape from it sooner or later, because I cannot see anything valuable that Russia can offer. Azerbaijan sees very valuable offerings from Turkey, for example. We are partners, we are economically integrated, we speak the same language, religion is the same. So Azerbaijan tries to stick with Turkey. So why Azerbaijan can cancel this decision? Just a minute, I will plug it.
Okay.
So logically, I don't see any reason to join a new union, like similar to Soviet Union or whatever. So I completely disagree with that. As a citizen of a post-Soviet country, I would like to go back to the Soviet times. Not just because I hate someone, let's say, among those potentially union countries. Russia, again, I told you, I rose together with Russians. I don't hate anyone, but I hate the system's essence. So we should be together, we should be equal, we should be, no, not really. I don't agree with that anymore. I mean, that didn't work.
Okay.
It didn't work even in China.
Okay. So you have to understand that the Soviet Union system is gone. it's no longer communism. And the reason why I see that, why I think Ukraine should join union with us, because like Ukrainian, Russia, and Belarus, we have the same roots, the same religion, we speak the same language, and the Ukrainian, Russian, Belarusian languages are not that different. They are very, very similar. We all like Orthodox religion. Russia has a lot to offer. In fact, Ukraine and Belarus, they don't have gas, they don't have oil, they don't have natural resources, and Russia has all of that. So that's what Russia can offer. And also Russia can offer military protection from any sort of aggression. Like, we're protecting Belarus. I think if it wasn't for the Russia protection, then Belarus would have been like the color. There was a color revolution attempt in Belarus, but it failed, thanks to Russia and Belarus working together.
Okay. I don't know. Okay. That's a different topic. Actually, I don't want to enter to that topic. I just came from the library, and unfortunately I'm not very energetic right now.
Okay.
But as a last portion of my ideas, I can say one thing. I don't know about Belarus, but Russia lost Ukraine forever.
You think so?
I think so. I can be wrong, of course. I'm not here scientifically proving anything. It's just my perception.
Okay.
It is based on my country's community and on my logic, I don't know, perception. Strategically speaking, Russia lost Ukraine forever. By forever, we can mean different things. Let's say for 150 years. I don't know. Or 100 years. It's like a forever for a simple person like us. Like we're going to die after 40 years. I don't know. So I think that. But even if Russia does something similar what he did in Belarus, it's not going to work. And do you know why?
Why?
Because no one won street wars in the world history. No one. Not United States, not Roman Empire, not Soviet Union, not Russia in Afghanistan. Even in Syria, when Russian troops go, people throw some stones. So I don't know. It's again, I'm very sad that 10,000 Russians died in Ukrainian war. I mean, they are humans. They are people. They would live in peace. It's a geopolitical war, and people die because of it. So what's the value of human life here? Dying for geopolitical wars? Really?
Well, you see, war isn't. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you can disagree with me, but war is in human nature, just like peace and love. Like it or not, but it is. So, and the wars, like, I think it's only recently, like in the recent, like, 100, the past century, people started to see wars as some sort of, like, oh, it's all for money, for oligarchs and blah, blah, blah. Well, before that, wars were seen as something usual, something really typical for humans. And it is like people, like humans, Homo sapiens, have been waging wars for millions of years, wars for territory, for resources, for women, for you name it.
Yeah, well, I agree with that, but the thing is, when you do a war without ideological basis, that's a trouble. That's a problem. So we had Second World War. It was a war between fascism and, I don't know, some kind of right ideology. And United States joined this war. United Kingdom joined this war. They waited for 3 years, but they joined. And we know the rest of the story. My main point here is the Russian government even couldn't declare a mobilization. So because it declares a mobilization, it's an official war. but it is not an official war from the Russian perspective. It's a special operation.
Yes.
Again, I'm here speaking that all of those wars we had in the history, they had reasons more or less understandable, as you said, according to the human nature.
Yeah.
But now I cannot see it. It's a geopolitical game. It's a geopolitical, and again, I'm not saying that only Russia made mistakes here. No. Again, as if you remember my previous answers, I also acknowledge that Ukraine also made strategic mistakes. But still, as a biggest player here, we cannot really ignore Russian issues. I don't know. Strategically speaking, and just yesterday and today, I'm watching a video from a Russian economist, a woman economist, which is very rare in among the economists. Natalia, I forgot her surname. Sorry for that. Zubarevich. Sorry. She's clearly showing how Russian industrial production will collapse step by step within 6 to 8 months. And believe me, it's a problem. You may think that, okay, Russia will go back to the closed system, producing its own cars, producing its own bread, milk, eggs. But again, back to the question that what is the meaning of life if you cannot really benefit from the technological and scientific achievements of the world community? What if, so yeah, well, you use VPNs to access to Instagram and Facebook. Okay, but I mean, this is really strange for me. As a guy who was born in 1992, as a guy whose teenager years have been passed by the help of Facebook and Google, whatever, it's terrible to stay aside from those technological developments. So your family member may get sick, God forbid, tomorrow, and he or she needs, let's say, a medical assistance, and the specific medicine must be brought from, I don't know, from Estonia, let's say. But the border is closed. Russia decided to be a closed system, and I don't know. It's impossible to produce everything on your own. I have never seen this. Nobody has seen this. So again, it makes me sad. And it makes me to ask philosophical questions like, dying for geopolitical wars is bad for both Ukraine and for Russia as well. Russia is not a winner here, for definite. Okay. That's my opinion.
Okay, I hope okay, so you said there is no ideological justification. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you on that one. Well, as you mentioned, in World War II, the two ideologies were colliding with far right and far left. Although Russia might not be far left nowadays, but I've seen, however, some sort of resurgence of the far right ideology in Ukraine itself, how they organize torch parades in the center of Kiev with portraits with pictures of Stepan Bandera. I'm sure you heard about who Stepan Bandera and Roman Shukhevich were. They were Nazi collaborators. They conducted ethnic cleansings, killing a lot of Polish people and Ukrainians who disagreed with their ideology. So, in my opinion, the rise of the far-right ideology needed to be stopped in Ukraine. So, I see this ideology, this war, as Russia's anti-fascist type of war to stop the spread of fascism in neighboring country.
It's always like that. Every side of the war justifies its position somehow. Like Armenia was justifying its fight against Azerbaijan 2 years ago, and it was saying that it is the war between Christian world and the Muslim world. Really? It was not making any sense. It was a territorial conflict. And all of those guys who serve at the church, they were taking Kalashnikovs, and they were not fighting, but they were taking pictures. All right, so
Yeah.
so that's
Instagram warriors.
yeah. So I don't know. It is I understand your idea here, and as I would like to repeat again. I agree that Ukraine made some mistakes, but attacking, and especially civilians, doesn't put Russia into a very good position. And as a last idea for me, I would like to say that I don't know about the future. If we try to imagine it, it's not really very optimistic in my view. The world may get more and more fragmented.
Sure.
Many will lose from it. It's always better to cooperate and make friends. With Armenia, I'm a huge fan of being friends rather than being enemies. Those two friends, it changed everything for me. I'm right now. I'm working on this as a person. I'm working. I'm how to say it. I mean, it may sound a little bit strange, but I'm contributing to the scientific literature in order to find out the economic perspectives in the South Caucasus.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to ask you a question. Your voice sounds familiar. Do you know there is a YouTube channel, Caspian Report?
Caspian Report, oh, Shirvan, yeah.
I thought you are that guy, no?
No. I know that channel, it's very famous. I know the owner. You can find his some old videos where he speaks himself. Not just always, but also his face can be seen from some videos, but very old videos. Yeah, no, I'm not him actually.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I wish, but because he's a quite successful content maker, I would say.
Yeah, he's a successful YouTuber. Although I rarely agree with his analysis, but I also have a YouTube channel, but I'm nowhere near as big as him.
So the thing is, he gives some really good insights about certain topics. For example, recently I watched a video about sand resources, its importance for the industry. I'm an economist, so I'm very interested in such ideas. And just an idea popped out in my mind that maybe I can somehow evaluate sand resources of Azerbaijan, because it has Caspian Sea, the sand is there, it's being used in the construction, but it's very difficult to evaluate something like that.
And also, I'm sorry, I have to ask you, I'm curious, just out of curiosity, you mentioned that you have a good partnership with Turkey. I don't mind. You are free to choose, I don't mind if you wish to have partnership with Turkey, but could you please clarify how exactly would Azerbaijan benefit from a close partnership with Turkey?
The question is not how, but actually so we can divide it like the past beneficence, current benefits, and future benefits.
Okay.
The past benefits was related to mainly economic and geopolitical stuff. So the thing is, thanks to Turkey, we have an access to the world markets to export our oil and natural gas resources. And we had a problem with Armenia. Armenia was a Russia-backed country to invade someone else's territories. And we needed a counter power to neutralize Russia's presence in the South Caucasus. And we have a serious player now. That's Turkey. And the future benefits, and I mean the positive outcomes of the second war between Armenia and Azerbaijan for the sake of Azerbaijan shows the benefits of Turkish presence. The future benefits is even more. We have a special agreement, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I think it was in August. We have a military agreement. It was signed in Shusha.
Yes.
Actually, we are practically indirectly a NATO country. And so if someone attacks Azerbaijan, so it was approved by the parliaments of both countries. It's not just an agreement. It was rectified. So that's an important thing because we have an agreement with Russia as well. Just recently we signed it before the war, but it was not approved by the parliament. So it is not legitimate. It will be or not, I don't know. I'm not the president of my country, but I'm not sure, because Azerbaijan is very scared right now because, again, big country, just nearby next to us, but we have also some protection. And Turkey is not Ukraine, all right? So Turkey is not Ukraine. If Russia tries to do something to Turkey, not really. I mean, historically speaking, Russia won many wars against Ottoman Empire. But now, Turkey, militarily speaking, all of those Bayraktars and stuff, I don't know. It's just not, and there are more that, I mean, and they don't stop. They are not stopping. They produce so much military equipment. I mean, insane. You may give some examples from Syria and Libya, and those are different. Because of this extremely close economic integration, Turkey will be very interested to respond to anything that happens.
So are you a pan-Turkist?
I'm not a pan-Turkist. I don't believe in that because
thank God.
So the thing is, again, I'm against all artificial unions, like you said, Russia and Belarus and Ukraine.
I don't think it's artificial, no.
Well, again, so this is my perspective. I don't expect you to agree with it, but pan-Turkism is a little bit different topic. I've never been in that position. I agree with cooperation. I would like to have peace. I would like to have cooperation, trading. Not just trading, but cooperation in everything, in science and culture, whatever. I'm learning even Armenian language. You know, it's my intentions as a person. Pan-Turkism is a kind of dream. It's not really the case. I'm not a guy who admires unions, and again, it's painful to remember Soviet Union years, and it's not only about communism. You mentioned the communism, but it's not only about it.
But you said you were born in 1992. How could you know what was life under the Soviet Union?
Well, I don't need to be born in the Soviet Union to know about it. I have my brain. I can read. I speak 6 languages. So I have my parents who share their experience. Learning is not something you need physically to do. I mean, it's okay. We don't have such harsh conditions.
Well, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you and to say that we also have a lot of projects with Turkey, like gas pipelines, like Turkish Stream. Obviously, you've heard about, and I don't know if you heard, but we are building a nuclear power plant in Turkey. Yes, and not just that, we are selling weapons to Turkey, like the S-400 SAM systems, and Turkey's favorite Russia's vacation spot, and I don't know what else can I name, but still we have projects, and although Turkey verbally condemned the operation, the invasion, but Turkey actually refused to impose any sanctions, and so did China, so did India. So I think Russia, you say Russia will be isolated. I disagree. I don't think Russia is as isolated as you might think. We still have China, we still have India, even some South Korean companies like Hyundai, they say they won't leave Russia. So I don't think I think you're trying to paint Russia's future in so much dark shades, but I don't think it's gonna be like that.
So
Russia,
again,
you see, I'm sorry. Russia is not North Korea. Russia is the biggest country in the world, and it's very, very hard to isolate a country this big. I'm sorry. Now you can continue.
I agree with your last statement. It's very difficult to isolate Russia from the world economy. The world needs Russia, and the Russia needs the world as well.
Yes.
But the thing here is, as you said, we have China, we have India. These countries are not really... so we don't have friends, actually, in the real life. So that doesn't mean they are your friends. They may participate in something to ease the current situation. But the solution is always comes with a broader perspective. Just being tied to 2-3 Asian countries doesn't make you much progressive. So I'm not happy to picture the Russia's future in dark shades. I'm not happy with it. Again, I'm the guy who speaks Russian from his 3-4 years old times. Again, I'm not good at it, but still I speak. I owe Russian language a lot. I have Russian friends. I admire. I've never seen anything wrong, personally. I mean, in personal relationship from the Russians against me. Politically, it's different. Politically, I don't like it.
Okay.
But personal relationships, this is different. So I'm not happy to say it. If you think that I enjoy it, no. I'm an economist. I have to be objective.
Okay.
I see serious deteriorations in Russian economy. Of course, it will not be the end of Russia, but it is a very serious damage. Shrinking your GDP by 8 to 15%, it's not a good thing. Sometimes countries grow just by 0.2%, and it's a good result sometimes. So 15% it's a huge. So I'm not happy to say it. I mean, 2 million Azerbaijanis work in Russia. So you can imagine how this will impact these. I'm collecting data about it right now, literally.
Okay.
That's my basic ideas, main ideas.
Yeah. Okay. Look, thank you for talking to me. Like we've maybe 40, 50 minutes, but still, we're talking like we have civil discussion. Nobody is attacking or insulting each other, because when I go on Omegle, I met a lot of people like saying F this, F that, F F word a lot, using F word a lot. Some people even threatened to find me and kill me. Yeah. One American guy from Virginia said he will find and kill me, and another guy from America showed me a bullet and he said, "This is what waits for you if you come to America." I don't know, was he talking about me personally, all of Russians? I don't know, but anyway, I appreciate a good debate, a civil discussion. So, thank you so much. Thank you for just great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Good luck to you.
I hope just to see positive developments in the future.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. До свидания.
До свидания. Удачи.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Привет.
Where are you from?
Palestine.
Palestine? Okay. Yeah, I'm from Russia. Спасибо. So, please tell me, I'm actually talking about the political situation, so the war. So, who do you support? Do you support any side? No?
Support Russia.
Okay, you support Russia, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, do you think NATO will intervene?
We are afraid, no.
Okay. So, do you think Russia will win?
It's hard to know, but I guess it depends. It depends what are the political goals that the leaders of Russia has. I don't think that they want to invade Ukraine, because it makes no sense if they want to take it. Like, even if they invade it, they don't have the power to control it. They can't control the people, because the people hate Russia and hate Russian people already, and hate Putin and hate everything is related to Russia. So even if he invades it, he will not be able to control the citizens with any government that he puts. So I think he doesn't even want to invade the country. He has his own goals, but I don't know what does he want to do. But I think he will get out of this. Russia will get out of this. The sanctions will not do that much harm to Russia. Even although after today they will be selling gas in rubles, in your own currency, which is very good.
Yes, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
But I don't support Putin. I support the Soviet Russia more. I used to support it. I was not born by the time, but like we Palestinian people used to support the Soviet Union because it used to help us more.
Yeah, the Soviet Union is history. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
You have another question?
Okay. Thank you for your point of view. Thank you.
No problem.
До свидания.
Yo,
Hello. Yo.
hello. Where you from?
Russia.
Oh shit. What do you think about this war, man?
About the war?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, it's bad, but it needed to be done.
Why?
Because the government in Kiev didn't leave us any other choice.
But what do you mean? Like, you think that it's right that Ukraine will become part of Russia, or what? Or from the NATO situation?
From the NATO situation and the biological labs and the NATO expansion, and NATO has been pumping Ukraine with weaponry lately, even before the operation started. So I see NATO expansion, and my government sees NATO expansion as a ultimate threat to Russia's security.
I understand that. And are you not scary about, like, maybe a future, maybe a third world war? Like, if the NATO will, I don't know, try to defend Ukraine in some kind, they will, like, you know? Are you not scared about that?
Well, kinda honestly, yes, I am, but I think the people in control, in charge in NATO, they still have some sanity left in their heads, so I don't think they're gonna start a World War III over Ukraine, because a World War III means nuclear exchange, and a global nuclear war has no winners.
You're right. You got them right. I understand that. It's a good point. I agree with that.
Okay.
So, yeah. But which part of Russia are you from?
European part.
So the nearest to Ukraine, or nearest to Lithuania? Some.
Closer to Ukraine than to Lithuania.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Italy. Do you like pizza?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love pizza. Yeah.
What kind of pizza do you like, man?
With mushrooms, with pepperoni.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good pizza.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you like the pizza with pineapple on it? This is a crucial question, man. So, answer good.
Okay. Actually, I am kinda indifferent to it. I can't say that I hate it, but don't actually love it.
Okay. You passed, bro.
Thank you.
You are a true Italian.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm alright, how you doing?
Where are you from?
Scotland.
Scotland?
No.
Okay. So, I'm talking to people about the current situation. So, what do you think about the war?
No one likes war, do they?
No one. But war, just because no one likes it, doesn't mean that the war is not in human nature. It is as human as peace and love.
Yeah.
War is also human nature.
I do agree with some of Russia's points in terms of national security, in terms of NATO's encroaching on the borders. And I do agree, if it was a peacekeeping mission, there'd be troops only in Donetsk and Luhansk Oblasts, but there's not. There's troops shelling the fuck out of Kiev, and that's a bit too far. Don't you agree?
Well, you see, Kiev is where the government sits, and Zelensky. If we don't demilitarize Ukraine, then we'll attack again. I mean,
You say attack, but who did they attack? Because when you annexed Crimea, they didn't attack. They've been attacking Donetsk and Luhansk, yes, kind of, but it not once has it threatened Russia, I wouldn't say.
okay, but what can you say about the Minsk agreement and that the Kiev doesn't observe the Minsk agreement, and France and Germany didn't do anything to influence Kiev into observing the Minsk II agreement?
I mean, that's fair enough, but then Russia invaded, so did they agree to it? Observe it, you know what I mean?
Well, if Kiev had observed the Minsk II agreement, probably Russia wouldn't have invaded. I'm 100% sure.
Maybe, but I do think diplomacy should have won here, unfortunately.
I guess, but it's been this spectacle has been lasting for 7 years since 2015, and we couldn't. Kiev is too stubborn. And have you heard about the US-funded biological labs in Ukraine? No?
I heard a little bit about it, actually, from an external source. I'm not a pure, pro-America dickhead, by the way.
Okay, I can see that already.
But I do think Russia's in the wrong here at the same time.
Okay, that's your position.
I like Russia. I have friends in Russia. I speak a little bit of Russian. I wish Russia had just not done this.
Okay.
I like Russian people as well. Russian people are nice.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's a good position. Yeah, keep thinking that, because here on Omegle I've seen a lot of hatred, like outright hatred towards Russia.
Oh, yeah, it's just American people, that's why.
American. I had a guy from Virginia who threatened to kill me, and another guy from, I don't know, New Jersey or something. He showed me like a bullet, and he says, if I ever come to America, then bullets await me. Yeah.
It's like weird. Americans didn't care about Ukraine before, but now all of a sudden they do, because the media is very much against Ukraine.
Well, it's not just Americans. I've seen people mainly from England. I don't know about Wales, but a lot of people.
Well, again,
English.
Wales is England, so yeah, our media is the same as America in that sense. It's very much like our media's love smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
So right now, the smoke and mirrors is Ukraine and Russia.
Yes.
And there's so many posts about how Abramovich's yachts are being seized. Who gives a fuck? That's not going to stop anything. If you take an oligarch's yacht, they're like, oh shit, we just stopped the war now. His yacht's fucking gone.
No.
No.
And if you take the Chelsea, football club Chelsea.
Yeah.
Who runs it now? It's been taken away from Abramovich. So who runs it now? Don't you know?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's probably some of Abramovich's fucking friends.
Okay.
It doesn't solve anything.
Okay.
I do agree that to kind of prevent this war, we should be sanctioning Russia's economy, but not. The problem is it affects the Russian people. And there's some sort of fucking mindset that okay, if we target the Russian people, they'll revolt against your government. It's no, they won't, because we've seen it protests in Moscow. You hold up a bit of paper, just blank paper, you're arrested. It's legal.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, have you seen the recent rally, the 8th anniversary of the Crimea joining Russia? Way bigger than any protest against the war. I don't know if you have seen this rally.
I saw it, yeah, but I do wonder how much that's organised, because it was a government thing.
Okay.
Possibly, you know what I mean?
Okay. So anyway, it's been nice talking to you. You sound more reasonable than a lot of your competitors.
I'm very reasonable.
Yeah, thank you.
No
Bye. Good one.
До свидания.
До свидания. Anyway, this has been Soviet Russian Bear. Peace, love and prosperity to all of my beautiful, amazing, wonderful subscribers. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button, and if you like my channel and my content, please click that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Anyway, Soviet Russian Bear out. До свидания.